Welcome. In this podcast, we take a look at what to look for when you pick up a guide to literary agents. And when we say literary agents, we're not just talking about literary, like in the publishing, like on the print side, but also songwriter's guide on the music side, film sales agents guides on the film side, and where to find agents in these industries? Well, there are annual publications each year. Like there's like the writer's market that's published each year. There is a guide to literary agents. I think that's published every year. There are songwriters guides that are published each year. Film sales agents guides that are published each year. So you can find agents, a list of agents and agencies in some of these annual publications. Also on the internet, there's lots of sites out there that might be able to find list of agents. If you are on the film side and you are a member of like the Internet Movie Database Pro, you can find list of agents there. So the internet is often a good source. Also word of mouth. You will probably network with people who can tell you some of the agents that they used or that they have considered. So just talking with people is another way to find agents. And then also from previous experience. The good thing is that once you do publish something or work with an agent, you will have that previous experience and you can work with that agent, or maybe they can recommend you to a different agent for a different project, etc. So previous experience also makes a big difference as well. So what will the guides exactly tell you? Well, if you pick up a guide, like for example, one of those guides that is published annually, and you go and you find, obviously there's going to be a listing of agents and agencies on there. So when you pick one of those up, the things that are going to tell you, number one, the name of the agent or the agency. They will tell you who to contact. This is very important because a lot of times you might find an agency that you're interested in, but the problem is there might be 10, 20, maybe a few dozen agents that work there. So the key thing for the guide that the guide will tell you is exactly who to contact for your project, depending on genre, on the type of material it is, etc. So, and a lot of times too with these agencies, they have agents, but some of the agents don't necessarily represent new authors or musicians or filmmakers. A lot of times the person to contact will be the person that's specifically for you as a new author or new artist. So that's what the guide will tell you, is exactly who to contact. They will also tell you what they represent. In other words, what type of material they represent, what type of genres they specialize in, and that can be very important. And then also very important is how to contact them. Every agency is going to be different depending on what their needs are. Some agencies will tell you that, hey, we get bombarded with emails to separate yourself, to let us know that you are taking this seriously, that you're looking us up. Please do not send an email. Please send a regular snail mail letter and we'll get back to you. Other times they might say, hey, please send an email. It's much quicker. Sometimes they might say, please call first before you send anything. So a lot of these agencies, every agency is going to be different in terms of how to contact them. And these guides will tell you exactly how to contact them. So it's very important that you look that up and know specifically what you're supposed to do to get in touch with them. So they're also going to tell you recent sales, things that they have recently sold. So in other words, kind of gives you an idea to gauge how your project compares. If you have a project that, let's say, is like science fiction, and if you look at the recent sales and wow, it looks like they've sold a couple of science fiction manuscripts or screenplays, whatever it might be, recently, that's a good way to tell, hey, maybe this is a good agency for me. Also, they're going to tell you the terms of the contract, usually like 15% domestic or 20% foreign, things like that. They're going to specify what the contract is going to be, what the terms are going to be, maybe the length of the contract, things like that. They're also going to tell you, if and when you can expect a response. So in other words, they might say, please send us your book proposal or your film treatment or your press kit, etc. And we will tell you that we'll get back with you within 21 days if we're interested, a 3-week period or something like that. So it kind of gives you an idea of when you can expect a response. Also, they're going to tell you tips, things to do, things to avoid. A lot of times they might say, as part of their tips, by the way, don't bother to send us anything unless you have at least 3 manuscripts or 3 screenplays, etc. Don't even waste your time. We're only interested in authors or writers that have multiple things that they are submitting. So just look for tips like that. And if you can follow these things and look in these guides and figure out what exactly that they're asking for, you can narrow down which agency and which agent is the best for you and what you should send them exactly. So good luck with your project.